Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So this video is about trying to help the whites, the Jews, and the LGBT community. I spent a lot of time highlighting their role in the destruction of humans and their souls and what have you. So in this video, I'm going to really focus on trying to help them. And almost certainly there'll be some of them who don't agree with what I'm doing, but they'll have no viable counterargument. For the whites and the Jews and the LGBT community to be offended is ridiculous. I would compare it to, the story of a representative of those three communities, right? There's three of them. So 3 guys and me. And I'm saying to them, you're about to throw a child of each of yours into a meat grinder for no reason. And you have no viable counter argument for why that's dumb. And they're saying, how dare you? How dare you? And so we get in a heated argument. And they start fuming me and they start poisoning me. And they say, some of them say, well, I sense that you mean well to some degree or something, but it's just not how it works and we're offended. It's that ridiculous what is going on here. So let's start with white, ladies and gentlemen, shall we? What is best for the white race? Well, first of all, I think it goes without saying, for those of you who are monotheistic, that actually doing God's work in reality, not in the church's propaganda or any other group, but in reality, is best for white people. So if someone wants to tell you, that they should just keep doing what the churches are saying or follow, the damn atheists or, agnostics or communists or, rich, greedy capitalists or whoever, they would be wrong. The world is a result of people breaking into those camps pretty much first and foremost. And the result, tons of people starving to death all over the world. White people in America are very unhappy. 58% of homeless people in San Diego are white. Lots of white people are homeless and poor. There's domestic violence. There's drug abuse, methamphetamines, very common among certain types of white people. And they're suffering and they're miserable. Some are sniffing cocaine because they're not fulfilled. They're in a bad shape. There's inflation. 60% of them, give or take, are living paycheck to paycheck. They're in bad shape. But yet some people think, hey, let's keep doing it this way. Whether they're a Republican or a Democrat or a Libertarian, they're breaking into camps who never kind of transcend the situation and make a sound argument as to what should be done, and it continues. The abuse of white people just continues and continues. And so it is with Jewish, ladies and gentlemen. So it is with LGBT, ladies and gentlemen. So as someone who's part white, I'm half white. I was engaged to a white woman. She was part Greek, part Italian. She eventually, at one point, she was pregnant with someone else's child. It's a long story why that is. Long distance relationship, long story why that is. But man, did we spend a lot of time talking. We spent a lot of time planning and preparing. I consider an engagement. She even sent me a ring. We were very much, connecting. And I would have had a child that almost certainly looked white because I'm mulatto and she's white. And I would have had a child that was white, that was a child, was someone else's child. So I would have been raising someone else's little girl. So I'm not somebody who looks at the situation and just wants to bash white people or something. I look at it in terms of what is fair, what is right, what is just. So when I look at this situation, I say, well, what's best for white people? To scramble to do what is right. It's a key part of happiness. Morality is key in true happiness, truly being moral. Tell the truth about everything. You could be from a long line of the most dishonest church out there, right? People from the most dishonest church out there. That doesn't mean you shouldn't change course. You should. It's never too late to do the right thing, as they say. You should scramble to do the right thing. You must give up the pride that you have in things that are counterproductive, that are self-destructive, that are bad for your soul. You should look at this situation. You should really consider the things I've been saying over the years. Do not be offended by the things I say, as it says in the Bible, right? The Lord loves those he disciplines. but rather be corrected. I'm the son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon. I'm the top martial artist ever possible. Is it possible to you that I could be right? When you think that a brain surgeon's namesake couldn't possibly be right, no matter how ignorant or smart you are, or how ignorant or smart you see yourselves, you know that something's wrong. If you just say, he must be wrong, that's strange, right? So, in order to truly love each other, in order for white people to love each other and everyone else, because you can't be racist if you're going to truly be happy, you have to be loving, you have to be honest, you have to be just, you have to be righteous, you have to be disciplined. You have to have these key components in living a worthwhile life to live one. At the end of the day, when we die, we don't go to some place for racial supremacists or something. You either go to heaven or hell. So you should stop looking at things in terms of, for those of you who are, mind you, in terms of racial supremacy or trying to get your race ahead. And the governing class is obviously backstabbing the masses of white people. And so as they convince you to be in cultures that are supposedly for white people or going to bat for them or sticking up for them, you know, they're really stabbing you in the back consistently every time without hesitation. So what is best for white people? What is best for Jews? What is best for the LGBT community? What is best for everyone else? It's the same thing. It's to rally and obey God through me, and don't think of it like you're obeying King George or Lex Luthor or something. Okay? Because my yoke is light. I'm not a tyrant. Just because of my videos, most of them I'm very offended and I'm very much correcting people and I'm chastising and rebuking them, doesn't mean that I'm some kind of control freak. I'm not. You know, my ideal, if people were to rally to me right now, I'd form a moral committee. I'd have attractive women submit, and I'd choose one. That is one and only. I'm a one-woman man, one woman. And I'd hopefully it would hopefully work out, and I'd marry that woman. Okay, and probably within a year or two, because I'm very good at figuring these things out, and this thing needs to be put to rest. And then I'd make sure, I do a lot of work. She would be helping me do the work. She'd be reviewing my work, and she'd be pointing out any grammatical errors. She'd be, we would be complimenting each other, cleaning up the house together, what have you. We'd be working together. And I'd put out sound legislation, sound rules, sound orders, and I'd put them through the moral committee for good measure. I'd have people review my verdicts, we review my decrees and my commands, and they would say, as a society, as everyone who's as part of the grouping, they would weigh in on whether it's fair or not. We would have discussions, and you could tell by what I've been saying over the years that part of my moral precision religion, universal pinpointed moral precision, is my no viable counter argument. Before I make a major decision, before I insist on something as true, I make very sure that there's no viable counter argument. Just like for my war on poverty plan, a variation of my war on poverty plan is absolutely the solution for this country and every other country. And they have no viable counter argument to this day. If they did, then I would simply change that plan to whatever is the pinpointed best plan. That's what it means to believe in universal pinpointed moral precision. You look to nail it, to get it exactly right, where it matters most. Not necessarily what shoes to buy or even what house to buy, but you should try to apply that there as well to whatever degree makes sense, but you can't, waste too much time doing it. So it's priorities, right? Prioritization, which is part of pinpointing the wise decision. Prioritize. So when it comes to who is appointed to a key position, when it comes to an economic plan, when it comes to the rules for romantic justice, what is precisely fair, when I can meet my maker, knowing my maker does not favor any race, I can meet my maker and say and know that I did the right thing, and God knows that I did the right thing before I even meet my maker, but I can meet my maker with true honor and true respect to the highest degree. I prepare my entire life to meet my maker with the highest degree of honor, with the highest degree of success. And that's also where the romantic imperative comes in. Because while I'm waiting for my maker, in terms of personal fulfillment, okay, in terms of something outside of, say, bringing everyone to God, in terms of that very personal fulfillment, true love and romantic love, true romantic love. And I'll even go there just briefly here. Making love, holding a woman that you're madly in love with, being successful with a woman you're madly in love with. That would bring me extreme pleasure. And there's only one way to truly achieve that. That's in the divine order. That's doing God's work. I can't achieve it by playing the game or joining a church or whatever. I have to say these truths, which include the fact that I'm Christ. And for whites, Jews, and LGBT people and everyone else, for them to honor God by honoring God's decision to make me the top martial artist ever possible, the heavenly warrior who defeats the beast. That is the path. In that way is immortality. In that way is true life. In that way is a truly fulfilling and worthwhile life. So what is best for whites, Jews, and LGBT is the same thing as what is best for everyone. To obey this mulatto person. I'm part white, part black. Okay. I'm somewhat Jewish from what I gather in my calculations. Okay.